Insomniac's James Stevenson has talked about how the long-term fan feedback of Resistance 2 has weighed on him, saying, quote, "It hurts more than some reviewer being pissy about a game and giving it a 7. Well, okay, whatever. I can move on from that. I can ignore that. But fans that are genuinely disappointed are a lot harder to cope with." Brian, are you losing sleep over Insomniac's troubles?
First of all, don't steal my line.
Sorry about that.
Second of all, it's nice to see this in a world obsessed with Metacritic, that he cares more about the people that actually play their games for fun.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I love Insomniac. I feel bad that he feels bad, but he should feel bad.
Yeah.
Resistance 2 was a disappointment on a lot of levels.
It was. It was a disappointment. Look. I'm a big fan of Insomniac. You know, they're not like a top tier developer, but they're constantly putting out good games.
Yeah.
Constantly. You know, Ratchet and Clank comes out this week, I'm picking it up. But Resistance 2 was a big disappointment. The single player was not even close to as good as Resistance Fall of Man, which is strange given that Resistance Fall of Man was a launch title for a new system that's hard to develop for. However, with that being said, you know, because he comes out and says this, how much it weighed on him, I'm pretty hyped now for Resistance 3.
Really?
Because think about it. I mean, after this disappointment of Resistance 2, you cannot tell me Insomniac is not going to bounce back and come out with a game that's like, you know, kind of what they wanted Resistance 2 to be. They juggled a lot of stuff.
And that comes into my point is, okay, Killzone 2 and Resistance 2 are being made at the same time.
Okay.
One of them is made by Guerrilla Games, who made a mediocre at best title on the PS2.
Yep.
And the other one's made by Insomniac, who has a history of great support for Sony with Spyro, Ratchet and Clank.
Yep.
And they obviously told one of the developers to get a game out by holiday, and they told Insomniac. I mean, I don't know that's what happened, but that's what it feels like. And that game just felt incredibly rushed. It wasn't bad, it was rushed.
Yeah.
The multiplayer needed to be fleshed out, the single player needed to be fleshed out, and I don't understand, you know, why Sony made that decision to kind of, if that happened, to bone the developer that's been with them for so long.
The reason I can see that from Sony's standpoint, you know, you want a big name game to come out during the holidays.
Yeah.
All right. You know, Killzone 2 was big on the internet, but that's not a big name. Okay, Resistance 1 sold, you know, 3 or 4 million copies.
Right, so they should like Killzone 2 in the holiday and let Resistance, the people that make their games, more time.
You need the big games in the holidays to sell systems. So it makes sense to put Resistance in the holidays. And Killzone 2, all Killzone 2 had to actually create sales was if this game is amazing. If Killzone 2 came out and it wasn't amazing, you know, if it wasn't getting 9s, if it was getting 7s and 8s, I don't think that game would have sold nearly as well as it did.
Halo 3 ODST has kicked off what's shaping up to be a great holiday season. But let's take a step back. Let's think about those first 9 months of 2009. Rich, what were your games of the year during that period?
First 9 months of the year, Street Fighter 4, absolutely. I mean, Street Fighter 4 is a game that people aren't talking about. That came out this year.
It's almost a perfect fighting game.
That is arguably, I'm a big fighting game fan. That's arguably the best fighting game ever. I mean, I love Street Fighter 4. I mean, one could definitely say that any of the Street Fighters or, you know, some of the Street Fighters are the best fighting games ever. I think Street Fighter 4 is the best Street Fighter ever. Therefore, arguably, it could be the best fighting game ever. Next up, Killzone 2.
Really?
I mean, look, the first 9 months of the year, okay?
Yeah.
The first 9 months of the year wasn't fantastic.
It was pretty weak,
but
let's be honest.
Killzone 2, I actually loved Killzone 2. I know a lot of people didn't like it that much, but a lot of people loved it. I'm one of the people who loved it. Amazing graphics. I thought the gameplay was great and refreshing. And I'm going to say that was one of my games of the year.
Mario and Luigi, Bowser's Inside Story.
Okay.
My boy, I love that game. I've never laughed so much when playing a video game.
Yep.
Shadow Complex, awesome. Even though it was a ripoff of Metroid, that's not bad. I love Metroid.
Not a bad thing to rip off a great game.
And Flower, people forget that actually came out this year.
That's right. Flower was an experience.
It was complete synesthesia.
Flower was an experience.
Awesome.
One thing to say about the first 9 months is that, you know, we can't forget Infamous. Infamous was a good game.
Yeah.
But in previous years, that wouldn't even have been mentioned as a potential game of the year.
Right.
But I remember in the first 9 months of the year, people were talking about Infamous, you know, up there with the games of the year. Clearly now with Batman out, which is, by the way, another one of the game of the years for the first 9 months. Uncharted 2 now, Halo ODST. You know, Infamous is clearly out of the picture now. But that just says the first 9 months wasn't all that great.
Time to play a little pro or anti, where we look at the world as if it were black and white.
Developer 2D let you pay what you wanted for World of Goo last week on PC and WiiWare. They sold 57,000 copies at an average price of $2. Pro or anti, pay what you want?
Pro the idea, but I'm anti these people that gave them such little money. This is one of the best indie games out there. They deserve more than $2.
It's great. It's a great game. I'll tell you what, though. I'm totally pro this idea. It's a great idea. 4 people, by the way, $50 they gave. I
Commend
commend
those
those people. But what I want to say is 57,000 people who bought the game because of this deal may not have bought the game at all if it weren't for this deal. So I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
It's a win-win situation, even though some people paid a penny, by the way. A lot of people paid a penny for this game, which is ridiculous. But, still, they got to play it, and the developer got money that they may not have got before.
Next.
Sid Meier has announced a persistent world Facebook version of the epic Civilization franchise named Civilization Network. Pro or anti?
I'll tell you what, Facebook, anti. I'm not on Facebook. I don't care about Facebook. What does it even mean to have a game on Facebook? Anyone who's interested in this, why don't you just play the real Civilization? Not sure what's going on here.
I got to give it a big fat meh because I'm not on Facebook either. But I will tell people I'm not on Facebook, and they'll have the audacity to say, yes, you are, we're friends. There are more than one Brian Kims out there in the world, people.
Yeah, and it's not this guy.
I think I would know. Next.
Steve Ballmer, the CEO of Microsoft, revealed that a Blu-ray drive is coming to the Xbox 360, and then said, well, actually, no, it's not. Pro or anti a Blu-ray drive on the 360?
I am pro Steve Ballmer, and you gotta be if you haven't seen that YouTube video of him dancing on stage.
Good stuff.
Blu-ray, I don't really have an idea. I think it would be great if they had it as an option, but I don't think they're gonna do it because they're gonna try to push their Zune 1080p streaming.
Of course. I mean, look, obviously I'm pro the idea. Why not, right?
Yeah, why not?
Microsoft, this whole generation, they've been touting the option, right? So if they want to give you the option, of course they should add a Blu-ray drive. However, they never will, and I'll tell you why. Because it's going to look like they're playing catch-up with the PS3.
Right.
You're going to have this external thing. Who knows how much it's going to cost? You got a $100 Wi-Fi adapter. You got a $150 hard drive. A Blu-ray add-on, not going to happen. Pro the idea, though. Next.
Super Street Fighter 4 will apparently have an even harder boss, but all the new characters will be unlocked from the beginning. Pro or anti an even cheaper Seth?
I'm anti this because a lot of people out there thought that Seth was really hard. However, I am unbelievable at this game, and I thought he was really easy, so I open this.
I'm gonna say a big fat pro. Street Fighter 2 was the first game I played that introduced me to cheapness. I know him, Bison has to hold 2 seconds and press forward for Psycho Crusher. And he's walking towards me, and he Psycho Crushers me? That is the essence of cheapness. And I want kids around the world to experience this the same thing. Controllers need to be thrown.
Good
Next.
The International Nanny Association is anti-Dante's Inferno when it was revealed there will be an achievement for killing unbaptized babies, and it's called Bad Nanny. Pro or anti killing unbaptized babies?
Anti the Nanny Association because they're causing beef with this because it's called Bad Nanny, not because you're killing unbaptized babies? This is ridiculous. And I'll say something else. Dante's Inferno is surrounded with so much sleaze that I wouldn't be surprised if their new marketing approach was to pay prostitutes around the country to pimp their game. That's how disgusting this is getting. That's it. That's it for pro or anti. Time for games being released this week.
First up, guys, Ratchet & Clank Future, A Crack in Time.
I need to find a crack in time with all these great games out there, but I need to play this one, picking it up this week.
Forza Motorsport 3.
Love saying Forza. Not really a sim racer guy, but I'm going to use the rewind button.
DJ Hero.
Not buying it.
Tekken 6.
I'd say I'd buy it, but I'm afraid of Ryu back here.
Press Your Luck.
No whammies, no whammies, no whammies. Stop! That's it for this week's episode. Tune in next week or visit our website for past episodes, our specials, and deals of the week. I'm Rich Alamanos.
And I'm Brian J. Kim. We'll see you next week. Do you have any unbaptized babies who were harmed in the film this episode?
I don't think anyone.
Maybe we'll get a free copy of Dante's Inferno for you.